My name is Julie, this is Glenn. We are going to ask Glenn about some of her research projects. What have you been meaning things you can have to research?
Well, the main things I've researched recently are about people with learning disabilities in the criminal justice system, either in the police station or in court or in prison, or both when they're in trouble because they've done something wrong, but also when they're in trouble because somebody's done something wrong to them. So that's what I've mostly been doing recently.
How have you done the research and who have you involved in?
It's all been done with people with learning disabilities themselves. So one of the things that's been tricky is finding people who've been victims of abuse, for example, to talk to, and finding people who've been suspected of a crime. Both of those things has been quite difficult. That's been the hardest thing, but we very much work with the people with learning disabilities themselves.
What are the most important things you have found out through your research?
I think the most important thing is how vulnerable people are in the criminal justice system. It doesn't matter whether they're in the police station or in court or in prison or on probation. It doesn't matter whether they're victims of crime or whether they're suspects. They're incredibly vulnerable because the criminal justice system is so complicated that everybody finds it really hard to understand. And most of their information is written for people in a very complicated way. So we've tried very hard to get easy read information produced, both for people who've been victims of crime but also for people who are suspects. I think that's the biggest thing that we found, how vulnerable people are, and also, I guess, how little support people get in the community and also in courts and in police stations and when they're on probation and in prisons.
What is important for people with learning disabilities to know?
What is really important for them to know is how the criminal justice system works, I think, because we know that people with learning disabilities are more vulnerable to abuse, and yet I don't think they often get taught about what would happen if they reported a crime, say. So I don't think they know what the police do, what the solicitors do, what the court does, and it's the same if they're a suspect. It's really hard to know what will happen. So one of the things we've done is to write some books for them in the Books Beyond Words series. So one of them's called Going to Court, one of them's called You're on Trial, one of them's about prison. And all of them are attempting to guide people as to what's going to happen next, because that's one of the things they find hardest, really.
What's important for other people to know?
Well, just about everybody in the criminal justice system needs training on people with learning disabilities and what their difficulties are and how to help them. So the police need more training, solicitors and lawyers and judges definitely need more training, prison staff need more training, and we have done some of that, but obviously not enough of it, because really that kind of training needs to be really well embedded in their training courses, and it isn't yet. I think the new police recruits do now get a standard amount of training, every single one, but obviously in a police station there are lots of police who've trained some time ago and never got that training, And of course lawyers don't normally get that training.
What's a good thing has happened to the results of this work?
I guess one of the good things is that I've joined an NHS committee which looks at the needs of people with learning disabilities who get involved in the criminal justice system, and they've helped to provide easy read information for people in prisons, easy read information for probation officers to use, because otherwise when you're on probation it's really hard to understand their letters because they're all in kind of legalese. And we've started projects where we've screened people in prisons for whether they've got learning disabilities or not, so as to provide extra help if we find someone who has got a learning disability. There needs to be that also available in the police station, but it's not available as yet.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Criminal justice is terrible for learning to do.
It is. It's lagging behind everything else. And one of the trickiest things is knowing whether it would be better to not try and screen people in all of these situations, but to provide information that follows people from school through their adult life. Because, you know, if somebody's got a learning disability, well, somebody knew about that when they were at school. But once they leave school, it's like that information disappears.
It's exactly like me.
Yeah, and I think people are very nervous about saying, well, that information should follow people, so that if somebody commits a crime against them, the police can look it up and find out they've got a learning disability. I think that would be really useful.
Yeah, so would I.
But other people are a bit nervous about it because it feels a bit like it's a kind of big brother watching over you kind of thing.
What else still needed to be done?
What else needs to be done? There's a long list. I mean, a lot of training for criminal justice professionals, I think. But also, one of the things that's really necessary, whether it'll ever be done, I don't know, is a simplification of the criminal justice system. Because, in a way, what I'm saying is, well, we should train lawyers and judges and the police and so on to know when someone has a learning disability and then adjust their procedures. But actually the other way of doing it would be to make it all much simpler, because actually very few people understand how the criminal justice system works, and what would be great is if it could just all be much simpler so that all of us understood it, you know, and then we wouldn't need so many special procedures. So that's a bit of a big job.
Thank you, Glynis. Very kind of you coming today.
Very nice to speak to you.